The reigning Tournament of Champions champion, Masters runner-up. He outplayed the formidable James Holzhauer. It is Yogesh Raut. Welcome, Yogesh.
Hello. Nice to be here.
Some of the more diehard fans and just try to get them to understand you a bit better and maybe just say something flat out?
I mean, I don't think that there's any point in when someone is willing to, explicitly say that they don't think that I'm a human being. There isn't any point in trying to convince them that I am one.
In the next calendar year, any big projects on the books? And are you going to prepare for next year's Masters in any particular way?
I mean, not anything special. I know, Victoria has definitely been, as she puts it, an evangelist for rhythm games. And I think that makes sense. I'm certainly, her performance was a very good advertisement for that technique. Because she did seem to have her timing down quite a bit. And, I certainly am, dipping my toe into that world and seeing if any advantage can come out of it. And, Ben Chan and I have been sharing our progress with each other. Again, it's, the usual things. Again, my writing my blog, keeping up my podcast, playing, friendlies with, other people and all that, just keeping your mind kind of exposed to and attuned to facts the whole time.
Do you have any thoughts on producer's pick for next year? Would you like to see one of your fellow TOCers get the nod, or, what do you think? Anything you care to share about that?
No, I mean, they're all great people, but, so many of the people who are in JIT, many of them I know and are great people. Others I haven't actually met, but they seem like perfectly fine people. And it seems like there's a really deep crowd of people from Jeopardy's past, range anything from the previous season to, the early days of the Trebek show. And I wouldn't object to any of those people.
You mentioned that you were single during Masters. Any interested parties? What would a Mrs. Raut be like? You're in the perfect world.
I mean, I think, my standard joke answer has been basically as similar to Spencer from Pretty Little Liars as possible. Personality-wise.
Anybody reach out saying, I liked what I saw on Masters or on the TOC?
I mean, a wide variety of people have reached out in a wide variety of ways. Let's put it that way.
When you're not accumulating knowledge, is there anything else you like to do?
Yeah, I guess I don't really, feel that much need to talk about it because it, mostly doesn't seem, if I find something that is of interest, like I said, with these, once I delved into these rhythm games, for instance, once I started finding things interesting about them, I shared it on my blog or Facebook or whatever. Like anything I feel, is interesting or worth sharing about, I'll usually find a way to do that.
Are you like a big Spotify listener? Are you like, are you on Letterboxd? Like anything kind of like aside from amassing knowledge?
That's the thing, right? Because I know, one of the things that I've heard, certainly from, terrible Jeopardy fans, but also from people my entire life, long before I ever had any involvement, which was the whole, it seems like you have such a narrow life. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I feel like this quote unquote trivia hobby, it literally covers the entire breadth of human existence from the beginning of time onward. And in, amassing it again, it's not simply learning it, right? It's finding a way to make it relevant to me, which is the only way my memory works. I don't use flashcards or anything. I only remember things so I can find a way to make them relevant to me, to connect them to me, to things I already care about.
No flashcards.
Yeah, I've dabbled in it a couple times and never lasted more than a few days because it's just not how my mind works. But you make it relevant, and then you also again, part of the whole reason I have things like my blog, my podcast, is to give away knowledge for free and to find ways of packaging it. As I think people like Ken Jennings care about this too. That's why he has his podcast. You don't just learn the information; you package it into a story, and you think, how can I make other people interested in it and maybe enrich their lives by learning about it?